All right, welcome back. This is Paula Tua here. My name's Colin. We got
Henry.
Jen.
and today we're gonna be talking about a lot of different topics. But first topic we're gonna talk about is the transparency with the government. So first we're gonna start out with Jen here. And what is your opinion on the transparency with our government in today's world?
I feel like today in today's world, I feel like the people, the officials in government, I feel like in today's society, like our education isn't too high, so they use like high words that people can't really understand, so it makes like a barrier in between us, and they have a bunch of like security reasons not to talk about the stuff that's going on in the world. So I think that's what like there isn't some transparency that's going on.
I agree. I mean, yeah, like what you said, I feel like they're trying to create that barrier between lower, middle, and upper class so they can keep the upper class thriving but keep pushing down the middle and lower class even further.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they just try to I feel like they make it hard to like figure out stuff too. Like they don't, like some of the stuff, like they say they put the information out there, but it's like in some obscure corner of the internet they have to search for. It's not really just like right out there in front of your face, you know?
Yeah. And now going back to the accountability part, do you feel like the president of the United States takes accountability for the actions that he does? So-called, like back when Trump was president in 2016, I feel like he made a lot of decisions, and then when stuff went wrong, he didn't take accountability for that. And it could also go for Biden too, but I feel like we see it more with Trump because like he made a lot of those decisions, but then when stuff went wrong or like people were upset, he was just like, oh, it doesn't really matter because he didn't take accountability for it.
Yeah, and then he blamed a lot of other people too. I feel like a lot of politicians do that. It's like when something goes wrong, they're like, oh, like so and so like didn't like do their part, or like they always have like an excuse. I feel like they never like, I've never really seen a politician be like, yeah, like that's on me, like that's my fault.
Yeah, they always have to put like other people down, and which I don't really like because like I feel like with the government, you should be able to have a civil conversation, like the VP debate with Walz and what's his name, Vance. I feel like that was the best debate we've had in years, like 6+ years, because like it was actually civil. They talked about situations that need to be talked about, but it was also just a good-hearted conversation that they listened to each other.
I feel like for Trump, like he does take like he really doesn't like take accountability, but I feel like he already gained such a huge following that it doesn't even matter to like him anymore, because he already knows that he already got a bunch of popularity, and it just doesn't matter, and it's gonna follow his beliefs because he already rose up in popularity already.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I can understand about that because he already has those supporters behind him, so like why does it even matter? But I feel like he would get even more supporters if he actually just took responsibility for his actions. Like I feel like that's why so many people hate him, is because like he has his supporters obviously, but he made those decisions, and then those people are like, well, he didn't do anything about it, so like why should I like him?
And going back to the Vance and Walz debate, I also liked how they were a lot more like, I feel like they were a lot more in the middle, whereas like most of the people in politics are super extreme to one side or the other. I feel like they were both a lot more in the middle, and that kind of like made them seem like more relatable to like the average person.
Yeah. Do you next question, do you guys feel like term limits should be still a thing in today's society for like presidency and stuff?
Yeah, I think it should. I just think like change is good, and that like even like I think it will help keep us from having like two older presidents, because like not Joe Biden, but like I'm saying Trump is like the same age as him. If he could keep getting elected, stuff like that,
Yeah.
I just feel like it solves a lot of problems like that.
Yeah, I agree with Henry, because I feel like 4 to 8 is good enough, because as you get older, like you start to like lose your like your knowledge over time, and I feel like change is good also.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to stick to the same thing like for years, because there's also limits of what the president also can do, but I just feel like where we're at right now is already good enough.
Yeah. I do like the term limits. I feel like the 2 terms is good for majority of things, especially because it also plays into account like say like senator, governor, and stuff like that. I feel like terms for those, because like I feel like getting different people into the politician world with like our governments and stuff is good, because different views, different eyes, and just different ideas. Because say one person's idea could be the next person's like greatest invention
Yeah.
or something. Like they could add something into the government that could really change us for the better, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more important. That's a good point about like senators and stuff. I think it's a lot more important there too.
Yeah. Last one here. Do you feel like politicians should be punished for like not delivering on their campaign promises? Because like I feel like a lot of politicians like promise a lot of things in their campaigns, but they just don't promise at all, like when they actually get into office.
I mean, that's like the accountability aspect of it. So I feel like there shouldn't be like a real government punishment. But I feel like we as like people need to punish them for it. Like if they're not doing what they say they're gonna do, we can't vote for them. Like we need to get a new nominee or vote for the other candidate or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the citizens' job to punish them and not as much like actual parties or government's job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because I feel like, especially with the last two elections, there has been a lot of false promises. Because I feel like they try to say these promises to the people to try to get their vote, and then when they're in office, they just go completely away from those promises, which I feel like you said, does go down to the accountability part.
I feel like most of these presidents, or when people are doing these campaigns, they're just trying to get people's words and like trust in order to gain popularity and in order to like get the position that they want. And then after they get that, I just feel like they can, after they get their like position or whatever, if they win, they get to do whatever they want. But I feel like as people, we should also like have a say or punish them because they basically just they basically give us false promises of what they were going to say.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So thank you for coming to our podcast today. This was Paul Atua, episode 1. There might be more episodes in the future. Who knows? Depends on the circumstances. But thank you for listening today, and we will see you guys next time.